Good evening. Right. Evening. Another video for you. Hobeo. Hyper 7. So this was given to me by a friend of a friend and a neighbour. They had a tenant that had moved out and left all their belongings. And they had a lot of RC cars and they said, "Do you want it?" And I said, "Well, hell yeah." So I've had this about a year, just sat in garage. And I've kind of got a bit of an urge to get back into Nitro, which I last did 15 years ago, and failed miserably. So this video, or this part one of this video, is just going to be investigating what's missing and why the previous owner took it to pieces. So this is as I received it. It's in let's say fair condition. Yeah, I think it's in fair condition. The engine will not rotate, so it could just be a little bit of surface rust that seized it up, or it could be absolutely effed. So I want to obviously look into that. I'll take the glow plug out, might take the pull start off and have a look inside and see what I can find, see if it's all obvious, all quick and easy. And then the rest of it is just a matter of they've taken off the front wishbone. I'm not too sure why. And they've taken apart one of the shocks. Yeah. So anyway, right, getting losing my train of thought. So I'm going to do a little time lapse. I have a manual. I've printed off the internet. And I'm going to go through, I'm just going to highlight anything that's missing, and then I'll do a shopping list, and then I'll get an idea of how much it's going to cost to fix this. And then electronics as well, servos. I don't know how good these servos are. Do I put some metal servos on? Right, enough babbling. Let's do a little time lapse, and I'll come back and tell you what I found. There we go. I've thrown it back together. It's actually, I'm quite pleased that there's so little missing. And I proper want to take it racing now that I've rebuilt it. Everything seems mostly spot on. A few little bits here and there. Start with the engine. So I've pulled it apart. It's spinning freely now. How can I do this? Okay, so it's turning nicely with my fingers. I've blathered it with GT85, and my best guess is that inside there, behind the, well, on the other side of the crank, is a big roller bearing, oh no, a ball bearing, sorry. And there's a mixture of, I think, a bit of surface rust and dried fuel all clogged up in there. It's just all dried crud. So just by cleaning it, it's 10 times better. And I think if I cleaned it some more, it would actually be bob on. The piston looks good in there. Piston seems happy. It looks good down there. There's no slop in it. I've got a HPI Savage which I'm doing a video on, and when you put it top dead centre, the amount of play in the big end, that in the conrod, is insane, whereas this is lovely. I don't really think this engine's done. Well, I know nothing about nitro engines. Anyway, that's good. Just clean, clean, clean. I'm going to get a new glow plug and get some spares. That one might actually be okay. Starter seems to be okay. Clutch shoes, they are definitely worn, but I'm leaving it as it is. Flywheel, pinion gear, bearings, all seems fine. All that seems fine. Just needs a clean. Just give all that a good clean. So what have I got? Okay, nothing on there. Nothing on there. We're missing the side plates, so if they're not too expensive, I'll buy a pair of those. I might get a new fuel filter if it's cheap enough. I need a new air filter. I'm just going to get a universal air filter, just a cheap one, not I imagine the Hobeo one. If it's cheap enough, I'll buy Hobeo, but otherwise I'll just get a universal one. None of those bits. None of those bits. The shocks, I might get these new rubber boots to protect the shafts if they're cheap enough. And then the main thing is that we're missing the front anti-roll bar and accessories, and we're missing these pins. Now, these instructions must be from a newer Hyper 7, because on these instructions it's a long bolt with a nut. On here we have pins with circlips, and I've bodged in a bolt just so I could rebuild it. So I need those pins, the bolts, long bolts for the wishbones, anti-roll bar, and that's it. And then I need some fuel, glow plug, igniter. The servos work, but they are very weak, so I'm going to leave that as it is. I've got a radio system up here. I'm just going to use that. That was like £14 from AliExpress. Hopefully it's reliable. I'm going to put a LiPo in it, clean out the fuel tank, boom, bing bong bash. Right, so I'm going to, let's think about this, how I'm going to edit this video. I'm going to click my fingers. When I come back, this is going to be nice and clean, and I'm going to have some new parts and a nicely rebuilt engine, and clean the body shell. So that's the plan. And just like that, cleaned up, mostly cleaned up, engine's good to go. I've got my front hinge pins, new air filter, nitro starter kit, some fuel, and then a few little bits and bats to put on. So like I said, I've just thoroughly cleaned the engine, put it all back together. It turns over nice. Lots of compression when it's cold, so I don't know if anyway. Just give it a general clean. It could be cleaner, but it'll do for now. I just want to get it running. I don't want to fully take it apart. I just want to get it running. So right now, I'm going to do a little time-lapse video, and I'm going to install the air filter. Just a cheapo universal one. Get the air filter on, get these hinge pins in, and then battle with the electronics. Fit this radio gear there. Get that on it. Yeah, so a little time-lapse video. Let's get it all built up, and then I'll be back in a moment. So let's put some random music on, and away we go. And just like that, it's done. Servos are a bit lazy, but they'll sure they'll do the job. Get the body shell off like we've done. So hinge pin, air filters on, nice and oiled up, ready to rock and roll. And then I've had to do a bit of designing, bit of tinkering. So in the box I've got the receiver and then a BEC, and I'm running a 7.4 volt lithium ion. And I just 3D printed a nice little bracket. That I think that's where the transponder might have gone. I'm not too sure, but anyway. So it screws on there nicely, Velcro strap, battery, job done. I've not got a failsafe yet. I don't know if I can make that work, put that in, don't know. Anyway. So it's good. So I'm going to stop blabbering on. This video's done for now. Got the brakes very keen, and yeah, so the plan is I'm going to go out with it on Sunday, chuck some fuel in it, got my glow starter somewhere, and take it for a spin. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks for watching.